Starting a motorcycle club at the beginning of GTA Online is a great way to start bringing in money. It's perfect no matter if you're a solo player or you're teaming up with friends. And today I'm going to give you everything that you need to know. The MC businesses which are available within GTA Online are nothing special, but there's quite a lot of them and there's layers to this for you to be able to make money in GTA Online. For you to begin, you would first need to buy a clubhouse. For this, you will look at foreclosures, you will look at clubhouses, and there are quite a few options available, varying anywhere between 200,000 all the way up to around 500,000. Some of you may even have access to a free clubhouse, which definitely puts you in a much better position. Once you've bought this, there are a few ways in which you can make money with the clubhouse itself. Firstly, you have contracts which are available. These are 3 different missions in which you can choose from. Some of them can be played solo, whereas others require you to have more team members. And these will pay out anywhere between 10,000 up to around 40,000 at a max, depending on the mission that you complete, as well as if you went through some of the optional objectives which are part of them. In all honesty, there are better ways to make money. The next option that you can go through is delivering customer bikes. This is not something that you can choose to do whenever a customer first needs to deliver a bike to the clubhouse, and then you'll get a notification allowing you to go back to your clubhouse and customize the bike. Once you're finished, you will then need to deliver the bike to the customer. It's pretty easy, you just need to drive there, and normally there is no one attacking you, so it's just a case of getting from point A to point B. And you'll be rewarded with about 50 to 60,000 depending if you do crash the bike, as well as if you get any bonuses on top due to your customer being satisfied. And the third way to make money from the clubhouse itself is the bar. You'll need to do resupply missions every now and then, and you'll be able to make money from the bar itself, but it's nothing too crazy. The real money comes from the businesses associated with your motorcycle club. This is where you'll need to head over to your office, sit down on a laptop, and you've got a few different options. You'll be able to look at businesses under document forgery, a weed farm, counterfeit cash, meth lab, as well as a cocaine lockup. And there are plenty of options for each different type of these businesses, but really, I recommend you go for the cheapest. They all do the same thing, they all offer you the exact same missions, they all are profitable once set up correctly. The only difference is the location in which they're based in. Depending on the business itself will depend on how much you'll have to pay up front, but it can get very expensive, especially with the cocaine lockup, where the cheapest is still close to $1 million. For efficiency, I recommend starting with the cocaine lockup, then you'll want to go for the meth lab, then counterfeit cash, then you want to go for a weed farm, and then you want to go for document forgery. This is the order in which they'll pay the most to pay the least. So to get things started, especially if you're a beginner and you're trying to do this solo, going for a cocaine lockup right at the beginning, even though it costs $1 million, you will still be able to get a much better return on your investment than if you was to go for a document forgery factory. The process will be the exact same, but a lot slower. So start with cocaine first. Once you complete that, move on to a meth lab. Once you complete that, move on to counterfeit cash. Once you've done that, then weed farm, and then finally document forgery. It's also nice once you get the most expensive one out the way to know that it's done. You've got a new revenue stream, and now it'll be a lot easier to get similar businesses much cheaper. With any of these businesses, once you buy into them, you will then need to travel over there, in which you'll be given a little cinematic, and then you'll need to go over to the laptop, which will give you an initial setup mission. The setup missions are relatively easy. It's normally about you going to a set location, picking up supplies, and then driving back to whatever location that you have for this business. Once that's done, that's the initial setup complete. And of course, I probably don't have to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It is a lot easier to complete this in an invite-only lobby compared to you actually doing it in a public lobby. You doing this in a public lobby, yeah, it's probably not going to end well. This becomes 1,000 times harder. Once the initial setup is finished, we're not quite done yet. Yes, the business is now operational, but there's a way that you can make a lot more out of it. And this is by going to the upgrades. For you to find the upgrade, you'll go over to your laptop within the business, and there'll be an upgrades option on the left-hand side. And with every business, you can improve the equipment, staff, and security. But the prices for each business will be different depending what it is. So for example, to get full upgrades for your cocaine lockup, it's going to cost you just under 1.9 mil. That means once you take into consideration the cheapest business that you can actually buy into at 975,000, you're going to have to spend a total of 2.9 million, just under, which is quite a bit of money when you're first starting out, but you will start being able to get this money back over time. Now, the reason you want these upgrades is because it improves the efficiency of your business. Not so much the security, that just lowers the risks of it being raided, but the equipment and staff will improve how much product you're able to get. And ultimately, it will improve how much money you're able to make per hour. The upgrade costs associated with each business is different. Yet again, cocaine lockup will give you more money, so that's the reason you want to start with that one first. But because it gives more, it also means that it's more expensive for you to buy into the full upgrades, costing just under 1.9 million. Whereas with document forgery, this gives the least amount of money per hour. The investments for the full upgrades are slightly lower, being just over 1 million. My recommendation is to buy into the cocaine lockup, build up as much money as possible to then get the equipment and staff upgrades. Doesn't really matter too much about security, and then whatever money you make after that can be used to buy into the next business. Once you get these upgrades, this makes life incredibly easy because you will no longer need to do resupply missions. Of course, you can still do them if you want to, but they're very repetitive and very tedious. It's always the case of you needing to go from point A to point B to collect supplies and then drive them back whilst having NPCs shoot at you. With the upgrades, you can just head over to your laptop, buy supplies for 75,000 and then just let the business do its thing. That's where you can then focus on better money making methods such as looking at the agency or even going to the Cayo Perico heist. For you to get stock, it is going to take some time. You may need to resupply it multiple times for it to build up. If you're going to be playing with friends, you really want to get this to the maximum. You want that full bar filled so you can make the most amount of money possible. If you're a solo player, you really only want this to fill 1 or 2 bars. After that, it's going to require you to have multiple users for you to actually deliver the goods. And if you can't do it within a time limit, you go without. You actually miss out on an opportunity to maximize your money. So it's easier as a solo player for you to keep this fairly low, just 1 or 2 bars max, and then just do a delivery, resupply, and go through this whole process again. Having just one of these businesses is not going to give you a crazy amount of money, but it is fairly nice having all 5 of them. That way you can resupply every single one at once, then you can go and do something completely different. I normally do the Cayo Perico heist. Once that's done and completed, I should then have all of these businesses filled at least once or twice where I can then do a delivery and add even more money on top of what I've just been able to retrieve from the Cayo Perico heist. With deliveries, they vary. You can get some stuff for which requires you to go by boat, other times you need to go by plane, other times it's just a case of driving to the location. If you're doing this solo, you may need to go back and forth as you complete with one vehicle, and then you'll need to go back to the business and go and collect the second vehicle where you'll need to do the exact same activity again. Depending on the delivery that you'll get will depend on how long this can take. Sometimes it could take just mere minutes for you to finish, whereas other times it's going to take about 20 minutes. And I always recommend that you go to Los Santos, especially if you're going to be within an invite only session, because there's just no reason not to. It gives you more money and you don't have to worry about other players. But anyway, guys, that is absolutely everything that you need to know about the MC businesses within GTA Online. If you do have any questions about anything, then please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going. So see ya.